Hey Hofstra fans, we hope you enjoyed the summer, but believe it or not, Hofstra sports are right around the corner and the fall season is underway, and that means it's time for the WB Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined by the head coach of Hofstra Women's Soccer, Simon Riddiough. Coach, how was your summer?
It's been great. It's a little bit too short for my liking, but it's a good summer.
Well, the season starts actually this Friday at Penn State. You take on Syracuse, then on Sunday you take on the defending national runner-up in Penn State. But we'll start with just last season, a young team, but that won the CAA after going 11-9-2 in the regular season. What are you going to remember most about last year?
Just the maturity and experience in the end. For a young team to go through a couple overtimes, PK shootouts, and then a third overtime and get through that adversity is really a lot to say for the temperament of this team, and hopefully we can build on that for this year.
This year you bring back 10 of 11 starters, and every single player who scored a goal is back as well. So this preseason, then you had a couple of scrimmages. Have you liked what you've seen?
Yeah, the returners have come in and they're obviously in very good shape. Winning the CAA last year gave them a kind of taste of what it feels like. A little bit earlier than I could have anticipated, but because of that they've come in and they're not going to rest on their laurels and they want to win it again, so they've come in with good mindset, good mentality, and they're ready to play, so I'm excited with what they've done.
And bringing back so many people, being the preseason #1 in the conference, do they understand the expectations placed upon them?
Yeah, we never like to be #1. It kind of puts a bit added pressure on, but this team's got the mentality to deal with it. We're really happy with how they're prepared and how they've set themselves ready for this, and they kind of thrive under that kind of pressure, which is a change of heart from previous teams.
Now, taking a look at your personnel, we'll start on the defense. You bring back 3 of your 4 starters from last year on that back line, but the one replacement, Brooke Bendernagel at center back, how do you plan on replacing her?
It's difficult. Brooke gave us an edge. She had a little bit of a bite, sometimes a little bit too much of a bite, and she added some speed. So we've got to replace the speed, which we feel we've got some individuals who can do that. Can we replace the little bite? Probably not. But hopefully the other players can add with some more technical ability and maybe ability to play out at the back a little bit more than we have done in the past year. So you can never replace that type of mentality, but we've got the individuals who can are definitely good enough replacements on the field.
Do you have a sense of who might start center back where she was?
We've got a couple. We still haven't made that decision. We've got 2 or 3 still vying for that one spot. With me and Toby and Courtney have kind of narrowed it down, and we've got kind of a sense of what we're looking to do. But until Friday, we'll not be 100% certain.
Now, in goal, Emily Morfitas had that great run in the CAA tournament last year. Her 3rd year entering as the starter. What's her mindset heading into this year?
It's a tough one because Emily's been plagued by injuries all 3 years, and in many aspects it's stunted her growth as a goalkeeper. She's got tremendous talent, and she's come in this year. She's ready to compete. We've got a freshman goalkeeper as well from Germany who's a tremendous goalkeeper as well. I think that's helped Emily motivational wise, and they're both thrashing it out at the moment, and it's a very good competition to have, and it's good for the team, and I think it brings the best out of both of them.
Now, in terms of your attack in the midfield, you have 6 spots in those 2 areas, but 8 players coming back who saw big minutes last year. How do you plan on using up those minutes?
It's going to be whoever plays best the day before gets the majority of minutes the day after, which again, like I mentioned before, competition is fantastic at the moment, and it's healthy. It's not a nasty competition where it's going over the top in practice. It's motivating them to work harder. We've got to share the minutes. Each of those players brings something different to the team and a different look, which I think helps us in preparation for other teams. They're going to come prepared to deal with 1 player or 2 players and not really understand the other 2 are just as good but in a different way. And hopefully we can rotate everybody. Hopefully we can keep everybody confident and match fit. And if we do that, I think good things can happen.
Now, your freshmen who were so good last year, they're sophomores this year, Leah Galston and Jill Mulholland especially. What kind of steps do you expect them to take this year?
Well, they've both got a target on the back. They're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. Leah took a while to to transition to college from her game in England. I think she's finally understood what we want from her, and she did for the last 10 games of the season last year. Can she continue that? We hope so. We think she's a special player. She's been injured all pre-season, but I think she'll turn it around when she gets back on the field and she's ready to go. Jill's a machine. We didn't expect her to make the transition as quickly as she did, but she just outworks everybody, and that's what she brings to the table. She's extremely effective. She's a dominant centre midfielder in a different way to some others, and she's going to be the lack of a better word, leader, or leader by example that we're looking for this year.
Now, last year, after I believe it was the Delaware game, you said Leah Galton was the best player in the conference at that point. She's preseason player of the year this year. Can she win player of the year at the end of the year?
I would hope that's Leah's expectations. It's definitely ours. If she stays healthy, I think I do think she's probably the most talented player in the conference. Whether everybody else feels that way is a different thing. Obviously, with those type of accolades, we have to have a good year as well. So if we have a bad year, chances are she's not going to be player of the year. So we can only get personal accolades or team accolades if we have a good year. So if we have a good year, I think she's got a good chance for that.
Yeah, the two sophomores who got big minutes last year, Chloe Dale and Janine Mayeda, how have they improved this year?
They've been great. Janine's adding a little bit more strength to her game, and so has Chloe. Chloe started to understand what we are expecting from a central midfielder. They're both very neat technically. Janine's probably a little bit more creative, and Chloe's a little bit more unsung type style of play. They're both going to play big parts. They're both going to have an impact sometime during the year, and hopefully, if they stay fresh and healthy and confident, we're going to have a good year.
Up top, Amber Stobbs had a big summer in the W League. She was an all-conference player. Her injury history is well documented. Is she ready to go for this year?
Yeah, I think so. She's buzzing. She's been buzzing in pre-season. She's probably technically our best player on the team. She's quick. She's got all the weapons to be a standout and competing for all the accolades. If she stays healthy and gets her mindset proper, which she has so far, and she's mentally strong, we expect the world from her because she can give that result. So we're expecting big things.
With targets on the backs of Mulholland, Galton, maybe Stobbs, so you expect big things from Lulu Echeverry and Sam Scolarici?
Yeah, Lulu surprised me last year. I didn't expect her to have the season she did with goals. But you've got to be fair to Lulu. She's passionate. She cares. She cares about her teammates, and she wants to play and she wants to win. Sam Scolarici gives us a different dimension. She's another winner, and going towards the end of last year, Sam Scolarici probably won us the conference. I know Emily got a lot of accolades, but Sam scored big penalty kicks in big situations. She scored big penalty kicks in the shootout, and she scored the game-winning final. So you can't underestimate that kind of mentality. She's got a scorer's mentality. She's got an attitude that is positive in front of goal. And if we can find her in the right areas and feed her properly, which with our wide players, Lulu, Amber and Galton, I think she can score a lot of goals.
Now you have 7 newcomers, including 6 freshmen. Do you like what you see from this freshman class?
They're going to have depth. The two standouts so far, the German goalkeeper, Freddie. She's been fantastic and got a great attitude. Very mature, something you would expect from an international type player. And Emily Agudelo, she's finally showing what she can do by the end of pre-season. A typical freshman comes in, a little bit shy, a little bit nervous, finally starting to play like we know she can. So we're expecting her to show big minutes and maybe push herself into the starting 11 if she continues the growth she's done recently.
And the transfer from UNC Greensboro, a high school teammate of Sam Scolarici and Mallory Ulrich, does she have a chance to get big minutes?
Well, she's going to be competing for that one spot in the back. She'll also give us depth as a full-back, and she might compete for the left-back position as well. She surprised me. I didn't expect anything from her coming from Greensboro. A great program, but just transfers. You don't know what to expect, and she had a great spring. She's had a good pre-season, so she gives us a little bit of a different dimension. She's a lefty, she's aggressive, she reads the game very well. So I'm hoping that she shows a value to us as we go through the season.
As usual, a brutal non-conference schedule. This Sunday, you take on Penn State, the defending national runner-up. You also host Boston College, the team that knocked you out of the tournament last year. What are your expectations with teams like that?
Expectations is to give them a good game. Maybe catch them. Maybe they don't take Hofstra seriously as they should do. And find out what our weaknesses are. That's the beauty of playing these good teams. They expose you. And once you get exposed, you start realising what you need to improve on. And you start realising what players can do it at that level and what players can't. And you start realising what you've got as a team. So probably in a couple of weeks we'll have a better idea of where we're at, whether we deserve to be number one in the conference or whether we don't, and whether teams should be starting to get afraid of us or not. I don't know yet. Pre-season's not really a good indicator. We've played two teams and played well, but again, they're not Penn State and they're not BC. So that'll be an interesting challenge, but I know our girls are ready for it, and I know myself, Toby and Courtney are ready to step up.
Now, the season starts on Friday against Syracuse. Before you play Penn State, what do you know about the Orange?
Well, they've been in a bit of a transition for the last couple of years. Phil Wedden is a great guy, fantastic coach. He took over a program which was in the doldrums, almost like a sleeping giant, and now they've transitioned to the ACC. So he's gone through two transitions to try and get his team up to scratch. His recruiting is going to be a different level now because they're in the ACC. So individually, they're going to have some very good players. And they've got a local goalkeeper from East Meadow who I loved coming out of high school, and I wanted her badly. And she's a Big East goalkeeper of the year, so you're not going to get easy goals past her. And then you just got to deal with all the other individuals. So I know they're going to be defensively strong. I know they've got some individuals who can cause you problems. So it's going to be a tough battle. Playing any ACC team is always tough, but I think it's a game where it's going to be a good battle for both teams.
All right, Head Coach Simon Riddiough, thanks for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Hofstra takes on Syracuse and Penn State, both in Happy Valley this weekend. You can check out GoHofstra.com or follow them on Twitter @HofstraPride for all the game information. I'm Rob Joyce. Thanks, Hofstra fans, for tuning in to the WB Mason's Coaches Report with Simon Riddiough.